We stand here today, poised at the edge of a grand revelation, a truth as ancient as the stars and as transformative as the dawn. This truth is not hidden away in far-off places or secret texts, but resides within each of us, waiting for recognition. You see, the world you encounter, the experiences you live, and the circumstances that surround you are not imposed by an external force. They are but reflections of your inner state. Your life is a mirror, perfectly attuned to the impressions you hold in your consciousness. When you learn to see this, not as a theory, but as the foundation of all that is, you will begin to understand the immense creative power you possess. This power is not some distant ideal to be hoped for, but a living force within you, ready to be wielded. The mind is your workshop, and imagination is the tool with which you carve out the life you desire. All that you wish to create, all that you long to experience, can be brought forth into reality through the alignment of thought and feeling. But the first step is realizing that you are not at the mercy of fate or circumstance. No external event controls your destiny, only your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings shape the path you walk. In the realm of imagination, all things are possible. To think of something is to give it existence in this unseen realm. The more you dwell upon it, the more you nurture it with belief, and eventually it will descend from the unseen world into the physical. This process, though mysterious, is unfailingly certain. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are constantly creating. Every day, every moment, you are molding the substance of your life through the impressions you accept as real. Many people live in ignorance of this power, believing that they are victims of the world around them. They lament their circumstances, thinking that their lot is cast by others, by luck, or by forces beyond their control. But I tell you now, that is a grave misunderstanding. You are the master of your fate because you are the master of your mind. What you consent to as true, you give life to, and what you resist in your mind, you push away. So how do we harness this creative force? How do we consciously direct it to manifest our greatest desires? It begins with awareness. To be aware of your thoughts, your beliefs, and your feelings is to take the first step toward mastery. From there, you must become deliberate in your use of imagination. See in your mind's eye the life you desire. Feel it, not as a distant hope, but as a present reality. Dwell in the state of already having your wish fulfilled, and soon the world will shift to align with that vision. The law of creation is simple, yet profound. You become what you believe, and you experience what you feel to be true. All that you seek is already within you. Your only task is to recognize this, to claim your divine right as the creator of your world, and to let the power within you unfold the life you were meant to live. The law of creation is simple, yet profound. You become what you believe, and you experience what you feel to be true. All that you seek is already within you. Your only task is to recognize this, to claim your divine right as the creator of your world, and to let the power within you unfold the life you were meant to live. The concept of the power of consciousness forms the foundation of understanding how we interact with and shape our reality. Consciousness in this context refers to the awareness we possess, the thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions that govern our inner world. It is the core of who we are and what we experience. Everything we encounter in life is not random or dictated by external forces alone. It is a direct reflection of the state of our consciousness. The world around us, the people we meet, the situations we find ourselves in, all flow from this inner state. Consciousness operates like a projector. Whatever you hold within your mind, whether consciously or unconsciously, becomes the filter through which you view and interpret the events of your life. If your mind is filled with thoughts of abundance, joy, and success, your experiences will begin to reflect those qualities. Conversely, if your mind is clouded by fear, doubt, or negativity, your external circumstances will align with that inner turmoil. This is not merely a passive process. You actively participate in creating your life experiences by choosing where to direct your attention and focus. The power of consciousness is about realizing that the thoughts and feelings you harbor are not inconsequential. They are the building blocks of your reality. To grasp this is to understand that you are not at the mercy of the world, but are instead a conscious creator within it. When you shift your inner state, when you change your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, you change the world that manifests around you. This immense creative power lies within every individual, but its effects are often overlooked or misunderstood. Many go through life believing that external forces control their destiny. But the truth is that your conscious awareness and the impressions you hold in your mind shape the course of your life. You have the ability to direct this power, to use it intentionally, to manifest the life you desire. By becoming aware of what occupies your consciousness, you can begin to take deliberate control over the creation of your experiences, unlocking a profound connection between your inner world and the reality you encounter. Life as a mirror is a profound concept that illustrates the relationship between your internal state of mind and the external reality you experience. This idea suggests that the world around you, your circumstances, relationships, and events acts as a reflection of your inner thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Just as a physical mirror reflects your image, life mirrors back to you what you are holding within your consciousness. At the heart of this idea is the understanding that everything you encounter in life is not happening to you by chance, but rather it is responding to the energy you project. If you look at your life and see struggles, conflict, or lack, it is a signal that something within your inner world is aligned with those experiences. Conversely, if you are surrounded by abundance, love, and joy, it is a reflection of the positive thoughts and beliefs you hold. This principle challenges the common perspective that we are passive participants in the world, subject to random events and circumstances beyond our control. Instead, it emphasizes that we are active creators of our reality. The outer world simply mirrors back what is happening internally. This means that if you wish to change your external experiences, the work must first be done within. It is not enough to try to manipulate external circumstances without addressing the internal cause. For example, someone who constantly feels unworthy or insecure may find themselves in situations where they are overlooked, undervalued, or treated poorly. These experiences are not accidental but are a reflection of the self-perception that person holds. On the other hand, a person who deeply believes in their own worth and expects respect and love will encounter people and situations that affirm those beliefs. Life is always responding to what you believe to be true about yourself and the world. This reflection happens both in small, everyday interactions and in larger, more significant events. Your thoughts and feelings are like a magnet, drawing to you situations that align with them. If you believe in scarcity, you will see evidence of scarcity all around you. If you believe in abundance, you will attract opportunities for abundance. Life mirrors your state of being, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. Understanding life as a mirror gives you tremendous power because it puts you in the driver's seat. It encourages you to take responsibility for your inner state and consequently your external experiences. Instead of blaming others, circumstances, or fate for what happens to you, you can turn inward and examine what beliefs or patterns of thought are contributing to your current reality. Once you grasp this, you can begin to use this principle intentionally. By shifting your focus, changing your thoughts, and altering the way you feel, you can transform what life reflects back to you. If you desire a more fulfilling life, it requires cultivating feelings of fulfillment within. If you seek more love, you must first embody love. The external world is simply a reflection of your inner world, and by changing the reflection within, you will see changes manifest in the mirror of your life. This concept ultimately empowers you to shape your reality from the inside out, demonstrating that life is not something that happens to you, but something that happens through you, a direct reflection of your state of mind. Imagination as a creative tool is a powerful concept that positions the mind as the source of all creation. It goes beyond the idea of imagination as mere fantasy or daydreaming, instead framing it as the engine of transformation and the mechanism by which we bring the unseen into the seen. This notion suggests that everything we experience in the physical world, our relationships, achievements, and even challenges, originates in the mind, first conceived as a thought or image in our imagination. Imagination is not a passive function of the mind, it is an active, creative force that has the ability to shape our reality. When we imagine something, we give it life in the unseen realm of thoughts and feelings. Through sustained attention, belief, and emotional engagement, these images begin to take form and in time manifest in the physical world. In this sense, imagination is not limited to artistic expression, but is integral to how we navigate and create our experiences. Many of the world's greatest achievements, whether in science, art, or personal development, began as nothing more than an idea in someone's mind. The ability to see beyond the present circumstances, to envision possibilities that do not yet exist, is the hallmark of human creativity. It is through the process of imagining something as real, as already achieved, that we set the stage for its manifestation. This principle emphasizes that imagination is not constrained by current limitations or circumstances. It is free to create without boundaries. Imagination operates as a bridge between the inner and outer worlds. The thoughts and images we hold in our minds create a blueprint for our lives. When we engage deeply with these mental images, especially when accompanied by emotion and belief, we send signals to the subconscious mind. which in turn influences our actions, behaviors, and perceptions of reality. Over time, this alignment between our inner vision and our outer actions brings about the desired result in the material world. For instance, when someone uses their imagination to vividly picture themselves succeeding in a particular endeavor, whether it's a career goal, personal relationship, or financial achievement, they are planting the seeds of that reality in their mind. The more detailed and emotionally charged the mental image, the stronger the signal it sends to the subconscious. The subconscious mind, in response, begins to work towards aligning the person's beliefs, behaviors, and actions with that vision. In this way, imagination becomes a tool of creation, directing the flow of life toward the realization of the imagined reality. This creative power of imagination also underscores the importance of intentionality. If imagination is always at work, shaping our experiences whether we are conscious of it or not, then it becomes crucial to use it deliberately. Many people allow their imagination to run unchecked, focusing on fears, doubts, and worries. These negative images can just as easily shape their reality, bringing about unwanted circumstances because they are unconsciously feeding energy into those mental pictures. The key to using imagination as a creative tool lies in consciously directing it toward positive, constructive visions of the life you wish to create. By imagining the desired outcome not as something distant or unattainable, but as something already realized, you bring yourself into vibrational alignment with that reality. This process requires consistency and belief, continuing to hold the vision even when external circumstances have not yet changed. The more you dwell in the state of already having achieved your desires, the more the outer world begins to reflect that inner state. Imagination also has the power to transcend time and space. While the physical world operates within the constraints of time and material limitations, imagination knows no such boundaries. You can instantly place yourself in a future scenario, experiencing the feelings, sights, and sounds of a reality you wish to create. This ability to mentally rehearse future outcomes is an invaluable tool in manifestation. By living the desired experience in your imagination, you are conditioning your mind to accept it as real, making it more likely to manifest in your physical reality. Imagination is the most powerful tool at your disposal for shaping your life. It allows you to create possibilities beyond what currently exists and brings those possibilities into reality through focused attention and belief. By learning to use your imagination consciously, deliberately imagining the life you want to live, and nurturing those mental images with faith and emotion, you tap into your innate power to shape your world. Imagination is not just a passive function, it is the creative engine that drives the process of manifestation, bridging the gap between your inner world and your external reality. Imagination is the most powerful tool at your disposal for shaping your life. It allows you to create possibilities beyond what currently exists and brings those possibilities into reality through focused attention and belief. By learning to use your imagination consciously, deliberately imagining the life you want to live, and nurturing those mental images with faith and emotion, you tap into your innate power to shape your world. Imagination is not just a passive function, it is the creative engine that drives the process of manifestation, bridging the gap between your inner world and your external reality. The concept of aligning thought and feeling is crucial in the process of manifesting desires and creating the life you want to experience. This principle is based on the understanding that thoughts alone, while powerful, are not enough to bring about the transformation of your external reality. For manifestation to occur effectively, your thoughts must be harmonized with the corresponding emotions or feelings, as this alignment generates the energy required to bring your desires into physical form. At its core, this concept suggests that the mind and heart must work in unison. Thought, which is the mental image or idea of what you want to create, serves as the blueprint. It represents the conscious direction of your focus, your desire, and your intention. However, thoughts on their own are relatively weak if they are not charged with emotion. Emotion or feeling provides the energy or fuel that propels these thoughts into action and manifestation. Feelings are the language of the subconscious mind, which is the part of you that holds the power to create and influence your external world. While your conscious mind may think of a particular desire, it is the subconscious that responds to your emotional state. If your thoughts and feelings are in harmony, they send a clear and powerful signal to the subconscious, which then works to bring that desire into reality. For example, if you consciously think about success but inwardly feel doubt, fear, or unworthiness, there is a misalignment between your thoughts and feelings. This creates internal conflict and sends mixed signals to your subconscious. making it difficult for the desired outcome to manifest. The subconscious cannot act on your thoughts if they are contradicted by your feelings. In this case, the doubt and fear are likely to override the thoughts of success, causing you to manifest more of the negative emotions rather than the desired success. On the other hand, when your thoughts and feelings are aligned, the subconscious receives a clear, unified message. If you think about success and simultaneously feel the excitement, confidence, and joy of that success as if it is already yours, you create a powerful creative force. This combination of thought and feeling forms a complete vibrational match to the reality you seek to manifest, which allows it to flow into your life more effortlessly. The alignment of thought and feeling also involves embodying the state of already having what you desire. This means not just thinking about what you want, but feeling as if it has already happened, even if there is no immediate evidence of it in your external reality. By doing this, you shift your energy into a state of fulfillment and abundance rather than longing or lack. This is key because the universe responds to the state you are in, not just the thoughts you think. If you think of your desired outcome but feel like you are still missing it, you are sending a signal of lack. The universe then mirrors back more experiences of lack, keeping you in a cycle of wanting but not receiving. In contrast, if you can think of your desire and feel the emotions associated with already having it, such as gratitude, joy, or contentment, you signal to the universe that you are in alignment with that reality. As a result, the universe reflects back that alignment by bringing experiences, opportunities, and circumstances that match your emotional state. This process requires not only intellectual understanding but also practice and self-awareness. It's easy to get caught up in the habit of thinking positively while still harboring negative emotions such as fear, doubt, or frustration. However, through mindfulness and emotional self-regulation, you can train yourself to bring your thoughts and feelings into alignment. This may involve techniques like visualization, affirmations, or meditation to help you cultivate the emotions that match your desires. For instance, if you are visualizing a new career opportunity, it is essential not just to think about what that job might look like, but to feel the emotions you would experience if you were already living that reality. Imagine how it feels to wake up each day excited about your work, to feel fulfilled and valued, and to enjoy the financial rewards of your success. By allowing yourself to fully feel these emotions in the present moment, you create an energetic match to the reality you desire, and the universe begins to align the necessary circumstances to bring it into your life. Another important aspect of aligning thought and feeling is the role of belief. If you are thinking about a desired outcome but don't truly believe it is possible, your feelings will reflect that doubt. To manifest effectively, you must believe that your desired outcome is not only possible but inevitable. This belief strengthens the alignment between thought and feeling, creating an unshakable conviction that what you desire is already on its way to you. The alignment of thought and feeling is a dynamic and essential part of the manifestation process. While thoughts set the intention and create the blueprint for what you want, feelings provide the emotional energy needed to bring that intention into reality. When these two forces are in harmony, they create a powerful vibrational match that allows your desires to flow into your life. By aligning your thoughts with the corresponding feelings and embodying the state of already having what you want, you activate the creative process in a way that brings about real, tangible results. Clear awareness and mastery of the mind are fundamental principles in personal growth and the process of manifestation. The mind is an incredibly powerful tool, capable of creating the experiences, circumstances, and realities that shape our lives. However, without awareness and mastery, this power can go unchecked, leading to a life shaped by unconscious patterns, reactions, and external influences. The key to transforming one's life lies in cultivating a deep awareness of the mind's workings and learning how to master its influence over thoughts, emotions, and actions. Awareness is the first step in gaining control over the mind. It involves becoming conscious of the thoughts, beliefs, and habitual patterns that dominate your mental landscape. Many people go through life on autopilot, unaware of the constant stream of thoughts and emotions running through their minds. These thoughts often stem from past experiences, social conditioning, or ingrained beliefs, many of which may no longer serve a beneficial purpose. Without awareness, these thoughts can take root, subtly influencing your actions, decisions, and emotional state, often leading to undesired outcomes. When you become aware of your thoughts, you begin to notice the repetitive patterns that may be holding you back. For example, someone may find themselves repeatedly thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I never get what I want," without even realizing how deeply ingrained these thoughts have become. These limiting beliefs act as barriers to personal growth and success, and without awareness, they continue to perpetuate themselves. By cultivating mindfulness and paying close attention to your internal dialogue, you can begin to identify these limiting beliefs and challenge them. Mastery of the mind, however, goes beyond simply being aware of your thoughts. It involves taking active control over them. Once you are aware of the mental patterns that shape your reality, you can begin to direct your thoughts in ways that align with the life you want to create. This requires the ability to consciously choose your thoughts and focus on those that support your desired outcomes rather than allowing the mind to wander aimlessly or fall back into old, unproductive habits. The practice of mastering the mind involves techniques like mindfulness, meditation, visualization, and positive affirmation, all of which help train the mind to focus on the present moment and maintain clarity of thought. By engaging in these practices regularly, you develop the ability to observe your thoughts without becoming attached to them, enabling you to redirect your focus toward more constructive and empowering ideas. But over time, this mental discipline strengthens your ability to consciously choose thoughts that uplift you, inspire you, and move you closer to your goals. Mastery of the mind also entails emotional regulation. Our thoughts are deeply connected to our emotions, and often negative emotional states such as fear, anger, or anxiety are triggered by negative thought patterns. If you can master your thoughts, you can also manage your emotional responses. Instead of reacting impulsively to external situations or letting emotions control you, mastery allows you to pause, reflect, and choose a response that is aligned with your higher self or desired outcome. This emotional regulation is key to maintaining balance and clarity, especially in challenging situations. The power of mastery lies in the fact that your thoughts directly influence your reality. What you consistently think about, you bring into your experience. If your mind is constantly focused on lack, fear, or doubt, that is what you will attract into your life. Conversely, if your thoughts are focused on abundance, love, and success, you will manifest those experiences. This principle is often referred to as the law of attraction, which operates on the premise that like attracts like. By mastering your mind, you can consciously choose thoughts that align with the reality you wish to create, thus attracting circumstances and opportunities that reflect those thoughts. Mastery of the mind also involves letting go of the mental clutter that distracts you from your goals and desired outcomes. The modern world is filled with distractions, social media, news, and countless other stimuli that can easily pull your focus away from what truly matters. Without mastery, it's easy to get caught up in these distractions and lose sight of your purpose. By mastering your mind, you develop the ability to filter out these distractions and stay focused on what is truly important, whether that be personal growth, career success, or emotional well-being. Another crucial aspect of mastering the mind is the cultivation of a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities, intelligence, and talents can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. This mindset contrasts with a fixed mindset, where individuals believe their abilities are static and cannot be changed. Mastery of the mind encourages the development of a growth mindset, enabling you to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. By adopting this mindset, you open yourself up to continuous learning, self-improvement, and the expansion of your potential. In addition, mastering the mind involves cultivating resilience and mental fortitude. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's easy to become discouraged when faced with adversity. However, with mental mastery, you learn how to navigate challenges with grace and persistence. Instead of allowing setbacks to derail your progress, you can maintain a steady focus on your goals, trusting that you have the inner strength to overcome any obstacles. This resilience is built through consistent mental discipline and the understanding that challenges are a natural part of growth and evolution. Awareness and mastery of the mind are essential components of personal development and the manifestation of desired outcomes. Awareness involves recognizing and understanding the thoughts, beliefs, and patterns that shape your life, while mastery empowers you to consciously direct those thoughts toward positive, constructive ends. By mastering your mind, you gain control over your reality, attract the experiences you desire, and cultivate emotional resilience, focus, and clarity. Ultimately, mastering the mind allows you to harness its immense creative power and use it to shape a life that is aligned with your highest potential. The law of creation, often expressed as belief shapes reality, is a principle that underpins many teachings on manifestation and personal empowerment. It asserts that what you believe to be true about yourself and the world around you directly influences and shapes the reality you experience. This concept is rooted in the idea that the external world is a reflection of your internal beliefs, and by changing those beliefs, you can transform the circumstances of your life. At the heart of this principle is the understanding that your beliefs form the foundation of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. They act as a filter through which you perceive and interpret the world. These beliefs, whether conscious or unconscious, play a pivotal role in determining what you attract into your life, how you respond to challenges, and what opportunities you allow yourself to see and pursue. In essence, the law of creation posits that you are not a passive recipient of fate or circumstance, but an active participant in shaping your experience of reality through the power of your beliefs. Beliefs, in this context, can be understood as deeply ingrained ideas or convictions that you hold to be true. These may be about yourself, such as I am capable or I am unworthy, or they may relate to the broader world, such as the world is full of opportunities or life is a struggle. These beliefs operate on both the conscious and subconscious level. The conscious beliefs are those you are fully aware of and may even articulate to others, while subconscious beliefs often lie beneath the surface, influencing your behavior and outcomes without your direct awareness. The power of belief is profound because it shapes not only your thoughts but also your emotions and actions. For example, if you hold the belief that you are capable and deserving of success, you will naturally think thoughts that align with that belief. You may imagine yourself succeeding, feel confident in your abilities, and take actions that move you toward your goals. In contrast, if you believe that success is out of reach for you, your thoughts will reflect doubt and fear, your emotions may include anxiety or resignation, and your actions or inaction will reinforce the belief that you are not capable of achieving your desires. The law of creation suggests that it is through this interaction between belief, thought, emotion, and action that reality is shaped. When you believe something to be true, you begin to think in ways that support that belief, and your emotions follow suit. This combination of thought and feeling then influences the actions you take, which in turn produce results that confirm and reinforce the original belief. This creates a feedback loop, where beliefs continuously shape reality, and reality, in turn, reinforces those beliefs. For example, consider someone who holds the belief that they are unlucky in relationships. This belief will color their thoughts and perceptions of potential partners. They may expect rejection or disappointment, which can cause them to approach relationships with hesitation or defensiveness. These actions, driven by their belief, may lead to behaviors that push others away or create conflict, thus reinforcing the belief that they are indeed unlucky in love. The external reality mirrors the internal belief, and the cycle continues. On the other hand, if someone believes they are worthy of love and capable of building healthy, fulfilling relationships, their thoughts and feelings will align with this belief. They will approach relationships with confidence, openness, and a sense of security. Their actions will reflect this positive mindset, and as a result, they are more likely to attract partners who match their belief in a loving, supportive relationship. Again, the external reality reflects the internal belief, but this time in a positive, fulfilling way. This principle doesn't just apply to relationships, it extends to every area of life, career, health, finances, and personal growth. The law of creation emphasizes that your reality is a direct manifestation of your beliefs. If you believe in scarcity, you will experience lack. If you believe in abundance, you will attract opportunities for prosperity. If you believe you are capable of achieving great things, you will find ways to make them happen. But if you believe that success is only for others, not for you, then your thoughts, emotions, and actions will align with that belief, and you will struggle to move forward. One of the most important aspects of the law of creation is that it highlights the role of the subconscious mind. While you may consciously try to think positive thoughts, if your subconscious beliefs are rooted in fear, doubt, or limitation, those subconscious beliefs will ultimately guide your experience. This is why changing your beliefs requires more than just superficial positive thinking. It requires deep inner work, including self-reflection, introspection, and often the unraveling of long-held limiting beliefs that may have been ingrained since childhood. The process of changing your beliefs to align with the reality you desire is both an internal and external journey. Internally, it involves becoming aware of your current beliefs, questioning their validity, and actively replacing them with new, empowering beliefs. This may involve practices such as affirmations, visualization, meditation, or even therapy to help reprogram the subconscious mind. As you begin to shift your internal belief system, you will notice changes in your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, which will, in turn, lead to new external experiences. Externally, changing your beliefs also involves taking inspired action that aligns with your new beliefs. If you believe you are capable of success, you must take actions that reflect that belief, whether it's pursuing new opportunities, stepping outside your comfort zone, or putting in the necessary work to achieve your goals. The law of creation operates on both the metaphysical and physical planes, meaning that while your beliefs and thoughts are powerful, they must be supported by action to bring about tangible results. One key takeaway from the law of creation is the importance of self-awareness and conscious belief building. By understanding that your beliefs are the driving force behind your reality, you can begin to take control of your inner world. You are not bound by old, limiting beliefs unless you choose to be. You have the power to examine your current beliefs, let go of those that no longer serve you, and cultivate new beliefs that support the life you wish to create. In summary, the law of creation, belief shapes reality, is a powerful reminder that you are the architect of your life. Your beliefs influence your thoughts, emotions, and actions, which in turn create the circumstances and experiences you encounter. By consciously choosing to cultivate empowering beliefs and aligning them with your desires, you can transform your internal world and, as a result, change your external reality. This principle invites you to step into your role as a conscious creator, using the power of belief to shape a life that reflects your highest aspirations. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is a powerful tool that can shape outcomes and preserve relationships. We often associate communication with speech, but knowing when to hold your tongue is just as vital. Let's explore 5 critical situations in which remaining silent is the wisest course of action. When you're angry or emotional, it's easy to feel like the only way to release that pent-up energy is through immediate expression. It might feel as though your thoughts are racing, your pulse quickens, and you have an overwhelming urge to let out whatever is swirling in your mind. But here's the truth: words spoken in anger or intense emotion are rarely thoughtful, and often they leave behind scars that are much harder to heal than physical wounds. The power of silence in these moments is not about suppressing how you feel, it's about taking control of the moment and giving yourself the space to process what is truly going on beneath the surface. When anger strikes, it's not simply an emotional reaction. It triggers a physiological response in your body. Your brain floods your system with adrenaline, your muscles tense up, and your ability to think rationally diminishes. In those moments, you are no longer driven by careful, thoughtful consideration, but rather by raw, unchecked emotion. And while emotions are natural, they are not always reliable indicators of how you should act. They can cloud your judgment, causing you to react impulsively and in ways that might bring short-term relief but long-term regret. Imagine for a moment that you're in a heated argument with someone you care about, whether it's a family member, a close friend, or a partner. The conversation escalates, and before you know it, your heart is racing and your mind is focused solely on winning the argument or making your point heard. In that state, you might say things that cut deep, words that are hurtful and unnecessary. You may even win the argument, but at what cost? The pain inflicted in those moments of uncontrolled expression can last far beyond the heat of the argument itself. The person on the receiving end of those words might carry them long after the moment has passed, feeling wounded by the harshness of your reaction. Now imagine if, instead of reacting immediately, you chose to pause. In that brief pause, you give yourself a chance to calm down, to breathe, and to reflect. What are you truly angry about? Is it the situation at hand, or is there something deeper beneath the surface that has triggered this reaction? Often our anger is not just about what is happening in the present moment, but is tied to past experiences, fears, or insecurities that have been festering. By taking a moment of silence, you create space to understand these underlying issues before you speak. In that silence, you gain clarity and prevent yourself from lashing out in ways that only serve to deepen the conflict. The power of silence in moments of anger is also about recognizing the value of timing. Just because you feel something strongly in the moment doesn't mean that now is the right time to express it. There are countless instances in life where waiting to speak, allowing the dust to settle, so to speak, leads to much better outcomes. When emotions are high, the potential for misunderstanding is also high. Words that might be meant one way can easily be misinterpreted, and even the tone in which something is said can escalate a situation beyond what was intended. By staying silent, you give yourself time to consider how best to communicate your feelings when the intensity of the moment has passed. You allow yourself to be heard, not through the lens of anger, but through a more reasoned, thoughtful approach. This isn't to say that silence means you should ignore your feelings or push them aside. In fact, silence can be one of the most effective tools for processing those feelings. When you're silent, you give yourself the opportunity to reflect what is the true source of your anger. Is it something that can be resolved with a conversation, or is it something that needs more time to unravel? Too often, in the heat of anger, we focus on the immediate problem without considering the broader context. By staying silent, you can examine the situation from different angles and gain a deeper understanding of what is really going on. Silence in moments of anger is a sign of emotional maturity. It takes strength to hold back when every fiber of your being wants to react. It takes self-awareness to recognize that the immediate gratification of venting your anger is not worth the potential consequences. By choosing silence, you demonstrate a level of self-control that not only protects your relationships but also allows you to maintain your dignity. You're not allowing yourself to be dragged into a battle of words that leaves everyone feeling worse off. Instead, you are giving yourself the opportunity to approach the situation with compassion and empathy, even if those emotions are not immediately accessible in the heat of the moment. Another important aspect of choosing silence when you're angry is the impact it has on those around you. Anger is contagious. When one person escalates, it often triggers the same reaction in others. But silence can be just as powerful in the opposite direction. When you choose not to engage in a heated exchange, it often forces the other person to reflect on their own behavior. Your silence can act as a mirror, allowing them to see the impact of their words and actions more clearly. In this way, silence becomes a tool for diffusing conflict, not through passive avoidance but through active choice. You are choosing not to contribute to the negativity, and in doing so, you create the possibility for a more constructive dialogue later on. In moments of anger, silence also allows you to protect your peace. When you react in anger, you often give away your power. You allow external circumstances or other people to dictate your emotional state. But when you choose silence, you reclaim that power. You acknowledge that while you may not have control over what others say or do, you do have control over how you respond. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. It frees you from the need to engage in every battle, to prove yourself right, or to have the last word. Instead, you become more focused on maintaining your inner equilibrium, regardless of the chaos that might be unfolding around you. Choosing silence when you're angry also gives you the opportunity to practice forgiveness, both for yourself and for others. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to view the situation in black and white terms: who's right and who's wrong. But silence creates the space for nuance. It allows you to step back and see the situation for what it truly is, rather than what your anger makes it out to be. And in that space, you may find that what you were so angry about wasn't as important as it seemed. You may find that the relationship matters more than winning the argument or proving your point. Silence gives you the time to consider whether holding on to that anger is worth the emotional toll it takes on you. Silence in moments of anger is not about weakness or passivity. It's about strength, wisdom, and self-awareness. It's about recognizing that your words have power, and with that power comes responsibility. In choosing silence, you are not avoiding the issue at hand. You are simply choosing to approach it with care and consideration. You are allowing yourself the time and space to process your emotions before expressing them, ensuring that when you do speak, your words are thoughtful, measured, and aimed at resolution rather than escalation. In a world where we are often encouraged to speak up and speak out, it's important to remember that silence is just as valuable. There are times when the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all, allowing your silence to speak volumes on your behalf. Proceed with a situation where you're unsure or lacking knowledge, the temptation to speak up might still be strong. Often we feel a pressure to have something to say, whether in social situations, meetings, or conversations where we feel compelled to contribute. However, in these moments, silence can be far more valuable than speaking out of uncertainty. It's important to recognize that not knowing is perfectly acceptable, and in fact shows a level of maturity and self-awareness. In these moments, refraining from speaking allows for a much deeper process of listening, learning, and growth. The desire to speak up when unsure often comes from a place of insecurity. We fear that by remaining silent, others will assume we don't know something or think less of us. In a culture where being vocal is often seen as a sign of intelligence and competence, silence can be misunderstood as ignorance. However, it's vital to understand that speaking without a clear understanding of the topic can often do more harm than good. You risk spreading misinformation or giving an opinion that's based on incomplete or inaccurate knowledge, which can not only damage your credibility but also mislead others. In situations where you lack knowledge, staying silent gives you the chance to listen attentively and absorb new information. Listening is an undervalued skill, yet it's one of the most powerful ways to learn. When you're quiet, you open up the space for others to share their insights, experiences, and expertise. This becomes a learning opportunity, one that you would miss if you were too busy trying to fill the silence with your own words. By listening instead of speaking, you position yourself as a learner, and in the long run, this approach will make you more knowledgeable and better informed. There's also a subtle form of wisdom in admitting that you don't know something. No one knows everything, and pretending otherwise often leads to embarrassing situations. Imagine being in a discussion where a complex topic comes up, and instead of admitting that you are not familiar with it, you offer a vague or incorrect opinion. Not only does this expose your lack of understanding, but it also can erode trust. People value honesty and humility, and admitting that you don't have all the answers can actually earn you more respect than trying to bluff your way through a conversation. It's far better to say, "I'm not sure about that, but I'd love to learn more," than to risk misrepresenting yourself or the topic at hand. Being silent when you lack knowledge also prevents you from making impulsive or uninformed decisions. Speaking too quickly or offering a solution before fully understanding the problem can lead to mistakes that could have been avoided if you had taken the time to gather more information. In both personal and professional contexts, rushing to speak or act without adequate understanding often leads to poor outcomes. Silence, on the other hand, allows you to gather your thoughts, consult with others, or do further research before making a decision. This kind of thoughtful pause can lead to much more informed and effective actions. In group settings, silence can be a powerful tool for allowing others to contribute. Sometimes the best way to add value to a conversation is by giving space for others to share their thoughts. When you're unsure about a topic, staying silent allows more knowledgeable individuals to step forward and share their insights. In this way, silence becomes a form of respect not just for others, but for the conversation as a whole. By not dominating the discussion with opinions that may not be well formed, you're contributing to a more productive and meaningful exchange of ideas. Silence also allows for deeper contemplation. When you don't immediately jump in to speak, you give yourself the chance to think critically about what's being discussed. This kind of reflective silence is often where the most profound insights come from. By staying quiet, you're allowing yourself time to connect the dots, analyze the information being presented, and consider how it aligns with your own understanding. This deeper level of thinking can lead to more thoughtful and insightful contributions when you do decide to speak. In situations where you're unsure, it's also important to recognize that silence doesn't mean inaction. While you may choose to stay silent in the moment, this doesn't mean you aren't engaged. In fact, staying silent often reflects a high level of engagement because it means you're actively listening, absorbing, and reflecting on what's being said. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that true learning occurs. Instead of reacting immediately, you give yourself the opportunity to ask questions, do further research, and expand your understanding of the topic. Silence also protects you from unnecessary conflicts or misunderstandings. When you speak without a full understanding of the subject, you run the risk of making statements that could be misunderstood or that unintentionally offend others. In contrast, staying silent when you're unsure allows you to avoid these pitfalls. It gives you the time to think through your words and ensure that when you do speak, your message is clear, respectful, and aligned with the facts. Silence in this way can act as a safeguard against saying something you might later regret. Another benefit of silence in moments of uncertainty is that it encourages collaboration. When you openly admit that you don't have all the answers, it creates an environment where others feel comfortable contributing their knowledge. This can lead to a more collaborative and inclusive conversation, where the focus is on collective learning rather than individual opinions. By staying silent, you create space for others to share their expertise, which can lead to a more well-rounded and informed discussion. In this way, silence fosters a sense of teamwork and mutual respect, where everyone's input is valued. Silence allows you to cultivate patience. In a world where there's constant pressure to have all the answers and to respond immediately, choosing to stay silent is a powerful act of patience. It's a reminder that not everything needs to be addressed in the moment, and that sometimes the best response is no response at all. Patience allows for deeper understanding, more thoughtful contributions, and ultimately, better outcomes. By staying silent when you're unsure, you're practicing the art of patience, which is an essential skill for both personal and professional growth. When someone else is speaking, silence becomes an act of respect and attentiveness. In today's fast-paced world, conversations are often interrupted or filled with distractions, where people are more focused on what they will say next, rather than truly listening to the person who is speaking. Being silent while another person is talking allows you to be fully present in the moment and to understand their message in its entirety. It's a way of honoring the speaker and showing that you value their words. Silence in this context is more than just the absence of noise. It's a conscious decision to listen with intent, allowing you to engage with the speaker on a deeper level. Listening while someone else is speaking allows you to absorb not just the words being said, but also the emotions, tone, and underlying messages. When you are silent, you are in a better position to pick up on the subtle nuances of communication, such as body language, facial expressions, and pauses in speech. These non-verbal cues are often as important as the words themselves, and they help to give you a fuller understanding of what the speaker is really trying to convey. In many cases, the emotional undertones of a conversation can be missed when we're too focused on our own response. Silence, however, opens the door to greater empathy and emotional intelligence, allowing you to grasp the deeper layers of meaning in what is being communicated. Staying silent while someone else is speaking prevents you from jumping to conclusions or making assumptions. Too often people listen with the intent to respond rather than to understand. This can lead to misunderstandings, as we may cut the speaker off before they have fully expressed themselves. When you remain quiet, you allow the other person the time and space to fully articulate their thoughts without feeling rushed or interrupted. This can lead to more meaningful and productive conversations, where both parties feel heard and understood. When someone is speaking, they deserve your undivided attention, and silence is one of the most powerful ways to show that you are giving it to them. Being silent also fosters better communication, because it creates a more balanced exchange of ideas. In conversations where one person dominates the dialogue, there is little room for others to contribute or feel that their voice is valued. By being silent while someone else is speaking, you are encouraging a more equitable conversation where both parties have the opportunity to share their thoughts and ideas. This balance is especially important in professional settings or collaborative environments, where effective communication relies on everyone having the chance to contribute. Silence in this way is a tool that promotes fairness and inclusivity in conversations. In personal relationships, remaining silent while someone else is speaking demonstrates emotional support. When a friend or loved one is opening up about their feelings, staying silent allows you to create a safe space for them to express themselves. Sometimes, when people are sharing something personal or difficult, they don't need advice or solutions, they just need someone to listen. Silence in this context is a way of offering emotional presence without the pressure of having to respond or fix the situation. It allows the other person to feel validated and supported, simply by knowing that you are there to listen. Silence also helps to build trust in relationships. When you listen attentively and without interruption, you show the other person that you respect their perspective and are genuinely interested in what they have to say. This builds a foundation of trust, as the speaker feels that they can rely on you to give them the space to express themselves without fear of being cut off or dismissed. Over time, this kind of attentive listening can strengthen relationships, as it fosters a deeper sense of connection and understanding. Silence becomes a form of communication in itself, one that says, I am here for you, and I value what you have to share. Another benefit of being silent while someone else is speaking is that it helps you to develop greater self-awareness. When you're not focused on preparing your own response, you can reflect on how the speaker's words are affecting you. Are you feeling defensive, curious, inspired? Silence gives you the time to process your own thoughts and emotions without reacting impulsively. This self-awareness is crucial for maintaining healthy communication, as it allows you to respond in a way that is thoughtful and measured, rather than driven by immediate emotions. Silence in this way becomes a tool for personal growth, helping you to become a more mindful and considerate communicator. In moments of silence, you also give yourself the opportunity to ask better questions. When you listen carefully to what the other person is saying, you can follow up with questions that are more insightful and relevant to the conversation. This not only deepens the discussion, but also shows the speaker that you were truly engaged in what they were saying. Asking thoughtful questions is a sign of active listening, and it encourages a more meaningful dialogue where both parties can explore the topic more fully. Silence, therefore, is not just about refraining from speaking, it's about using that time to listen actively and prepare for a more engaged conversation. In professional settings, being silent while others are speaking can lead to better decision-making. In meetings or group discussions, staying quiet allows you to hear all the perspectives being shared before forming your own opinion. Rushing to speak before fully understanding the issue can lead to hasty or uninformed decisions. By being silent, you give yourself the chance to gather more information, weigh different viewpoints, and consider the implications of what's being discussed. This leads to more thoughtful and well-rounded contributions when you do decide to speak. Silence in this way becomes a key component of strategic thinking and problem solving. Silence during conversations can prevent unnecessary conflicts. When emotions run high or disagreements arise, people often feel compelled to defend their position or argue their point of view. However, speaking out of emotion can escalate the situation and lead to more tension. By staying silent, especially in the heat of the moment, you give yourself the chance to calm down and think more clearly before responding. This can prevent misunderstandings and help to de-escalate conflicts before they spiral out of control. Silence in these situations is a form of restraint that allows for more constructive and respectful communication. Silence creates a sense of calm and focus in conversations. When there are too many voices competing for attention, it can lead to confusion and a lack of clarity. By staying silent, you contribute to a more focused and coherent conversation, where each person has the opportunity to speak and be heard. This kind of focused communication is especially important in situations where complex issues are being discussed, as it allows for a more organized and productive exchange of ideas. Silence in this way helps to maintain the flow of conversation, ensuring that it remains meaningful and on track. Silence also allows you to observe the dynamics of the conversation more clearly. When you're not speaking, you can pay attention to how others are interacting, how different ideas are being received, and how the conversation is evolving. This kind of observation can give you valuable insights into the underlying dynamics of the group, such as who holds influence, who is being left out, or how the conversation is shifting in tone. These observations can help you to navigate the conversation more effectively when you do decide to speak. Silence, in this sense, becomes a tool for gathering information that can enhance your understanding of the situation. In many cultures, silence is also seen as a sign of wisdom. People who speak less and listen more are often viewed as thoughtful and intelligent, because they take the time to consider their words carefully before speaking. This kind of measured communication earns respect, as it shows that you are not speaking just for the sake of being heard, but because you have something valuable to contribute. Silence, therefore, can enhance your reputation as someone who listens carefully and speaks with intention. It's a powerful way to demonstrate that you are not driven by ego or the need to dominate the conversation, but by a genuine desire to understand and engage meaningfully. By being silent while someone else is speaking, you also create space for deeper connection. When both parties feel heard and understood, the conversation becomes more than just an exchange of words. It becomes an opportunity for connection and shared understanding. Silence allows you to connect with the other person on a more emotional and intellectual level, as you are fully present and engaged in what they are saying. This kind of connection is what makes conversations truly meaningful, and it's something that can only happen when both parties are committed to listening as much as they are to speaking. Silence while someone else is speaking can transform the quality of the conversation itself. When you listen deeply and without interruption, you encourage the other person to share more openly and honestly. They feel safe in the knowledge that they won't be cut off or misunderstood, which allows for a more authentic and vulnerable exchange of ideas. Silence in this way becomes a gift that you offer to the speaker, one that creates the conditions for a deeper and more meaningful dialogue. It's in these moments of silence that true understanding and connection are born. Let's explore how these 5 points intersect to create a cohesive and powerful philosophy for navigating life's challenges. When you're angry or emotional, silence acts as a buffer between your emotions and your actions. Anger and heightened emotions cloud judgment, leading to words and actions that are often regretted later. In these moments, staying silent allows you to cool down, gain perspective, and approach the situation with a calm mind. This pause is critical because it prevents rash decisions and hurtful words that can damage relationships, reputations, and even your self-image. By choosing silence, you are not suppressing your feelings, but rather giving yourself the space to process them in a healthy, constructive way. It allows for self-reflection, which can lead to better understanding of the root cause of your emotions, making it easier to resolve conflicts without escalating them. In the broader context of life, knowing when to remain silent during emotional upheavals is an invaluable skill. Emotions are powerful, but they are also fleeting. By not reacting immediately, you gain the upper hand over temporary feelings, allowing you to act in a way that aligns with your long-term values and goals. This mastery of silence during emotional storms translates to greater emotional intelligence, which in turn enhances personal and professional relationships. People who can maintain composure in emotionally charged situations are often seen as more reliable, trustworthy, and wise. When you are unsure or lacking knowledge, silence becomes a tool of humility and learning. It's natural to want to participate in conversations, especially when opinions and ideas are being exchanged. However, speaking without sufficient knowledge can lead to misinformation, misunderstanding, and a loss of credibility. In such moments, silence allows you to listen, absorb information, and learn. It's an opportunity to expand your understanding by paying attention to those who may know more about the topic at hand. By staying silent, you demonstrate respect for the knowledge of others and position yourself as a learner, which can open doors to new insights and opportunities for growth. Silence in the face of uncertainty also protects you from making premature judgments or decisions. When you acknowledge that you don't know something and choose to remain silent until you have more information, you are safeguarding yourself from potential mistakes. This is particularly important in professional settings, where decisions based on incomplete knowledge can have serious consequences. Silence gives you the time to gather facts, reflect on different perspectives, and make informed choices. It also fosters an environment of curiosity and openness, where asking questions and seeking clarity is valued more than pretending to have all the answers. Another crucial moment for silence is when someone else is speaking. Listening is an underrated skill, and in today's fast-paced world, many people are more focused on what they want to say next, rather than truly hearing what the other person is communicating. Silence in this context is a sign of respect. It shows that you value the other person's words and are willing to give them the space to express themselves fully. By being silent when someone else is speaking, you not only enhance the quality of the conversation, but also deepen your understanding of the person's point of view. This leads to more meaningful connections and stronger relationships, both personally and professionally. In communication, silence also serves as a tool for gathering information beyond the words being spoken. When you remain quiet, you have the opportunity to observe body language, tone, and other nonverbal cues that can provide deeper insights into the speaker's intentions, emotions, and thoughts. This holistic approach to listening allows for better comprehension and empathy, which are key components of effective communication. Silence here is not just about refraining from speaking, it's about being fully present and engaged in the moment. When you're being provoked, silence is a form of strength. Provocation often aims to elicit a reaction, to throw you off balance, and to undermine your composure. In such situations, responding with silence disarms the provoker. It denies them the satisfaction of seeing you react impulsively, and it keeps you in control of the situation. Silence gives you time to assess the provocation, determine its intent, and decide whether or not it warrants a response. Often the best response is no response at all, as reacting can escalate the situation unnecessarily and give power to the provoker. Silence in the face of provocation also communicates a certain level of maturity and self-control. It sends a message that you are not easily rattled and that you won't be drawn into unnecessary conflict. This can be particularly important in professional environments, where maintaining your composure is key to preserving your reputation and advancing your career. It's also valuable in personal relationships, where provocation can sometimes be a test of emotional boundaries. By choosing silence, you maintain those boundaries and protect your peace of mind. Finally, when you're planning or strategizing, silence becomes your sanctuary for deep thinking. In moments of planning, whether for personal goals or professional projects, silence allows you to focus, to gather your thoughts, and to make thoughtful decisions. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that you can see the bigger picture, anticipate challenges, and devise solutions. Silence gives you the mental space to think creatively and strategically, without the noise of external opinions or distractions. It's a time for introspection, where you can clarify your objectives, assess your resources, and chart a course of action that aligns with your long-term vision. In competitive or high-stakes environments, silence during the planning phase can also provide a tactical advantage. By keeping your thoughts to yourself until the plan is fully formed, you prevent others from interfering with or undermining your strategy. Silence in this context is a form of protection, ensuring that your plans remain under your control until you're ready to execute them. It allows you to remain unpredictable, which can be a powerful asset in any competitive scenario. Silence across these 5 key situations is not a passive state, but an active and intentional choice that empowers you in multiple dimensions of life. It enables emotional regulation, fosters learning, enhances communication, strengthens self-control, and nurtures deep strategic thinking. Silence, when used wisely, becomes a source of inner strength and clarity, guiding you through life's challenges with grace, wisdom, and composure. By embracing silence in these moments, you position yourself for greater success, peace, and fulfillment in both your personal and professional life. We are creators, sculptors of our lives, molding each experience with our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. The mind, vast and powerful, holds within it keys to the manifestation of our deepest desires. But here's the truth: many struggle to grasp what you seek, you already possess. This is not an abstract philosophical concept, but a reality, as real as the breath you take. The fulfillment of your desires, whatever they may be, already exists in the world within you. The art, the true mastery, is in realizing this truth and aligning your outer reality with that inner knowing. We live in a world that constantly tells us to work harder and push further to achieve what we want. While effort is part of the process, it is not the entirety of it. The secret to manifestation lies in the power of assumption. To assume that your desire is already fulfilled is to transcend the limitations of the external world and move into a dimension where your wish is a reality. When you assume something, you accept it as true without requiring physical proof. It becomes a part of you, a certainty that reshapes the world around you. Imagine for a moment you're in a theater watching a film. As the movie unfolds, you become engrossed in the characters, the drama, the highs and lows of their journey. But then a realization dawns on you: this is a script, carefully crafted with every scene, every dialogue already predetermined. You no longer worry about the outcome because you understand that the conclusion has already been written. Life is much like that theater experience. The script of your desires has already been written. The outcomes, the success, the love, the abundance you crave, they exist. But you must shift your perspective to recognize that you are not merely an observer. In this theater, you are both the audience and the director. You have the power to alter the scenes, rewrite the dialogue, and shape the narrative. But how do we do this? By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. What you feel deeply, you will manifest. Your emotions are the compass, guiding you toward the realization of your desires. When you feel something as though it is already real, you bring it into your world. Many of us go through life chasing after goals, thinking that the attainment of those goals will bring the emotions we seek: joy, fulfillment, love. But the truth is that those emotions are the catalyst, not the result. Think of a time when you desired something intensely: a job, a relationship, a goal. Now remember how you felt when you received it. The feeling of accomplishment or satisfaction wasn't something external. It was an internal response to the fulfillment of your desire. What if you could tap into that feeling before the physical manifestation? This is the key. You must feel now as though your wish has already been fulfilled. This may seem challenging at first. We are so used to looking at our external circumstances for validation that it feels unnatural to assume that what we want is already ours. But the outer world is simply a reflection of the inner. It is a mirror that reflects back to us the state of our consciousness. When you change your internal state, the outer world must shift to align with it. To live in the end means to carry within yourself the belief that your desire is not something distant, not something that will happen someday, but rather it is happening now. It is here. You must embody the person who has already achieved the goal. How would you feel if your wish were fulfilled? How would you act? How would your daily life change? Begin to walk, speak, and think as if your desire is a present reality. If you seek abundance, live in the mindset of abundance. If you desire love, carry the feeling of being deeply loved. It is not about pretending or forcing yourself into a false state of mind. It is about genuinely shifting your inner consciousness to reflect the outcome you desire. You become the living embodiment of your wish fulfilled, and as you do, the outer world must conform. Let us consider this principle in the context of a simple analogy. Picture yourself planting a seed in the ground. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that it will bloom in its own time. You water it, give it sunlight, and nurture it, knowing that beneath the surface, life is stirring. In the same way, when you plant the seed of a desire in your mind, trust that it is growing. Do not dig it up with doubt or impatience. Nurture it with faith, and it will blossom. Consciousness is the foundation of all creation. Everything you experience in the outer world is a projection of your inner state. Your beliefs, thoughts, and emotions shape the circumstances of your life. If you believe in lack, you will experience lack. If you believe in abundance, you will experience abundance. The law of consciousness is impartial. It does not judge whether your thoughts are positive or negative. It simply reflects back to you the state of your inner world. This is why it is so essential to guard your thoughts and emotions. You are always creating, whether you realize it or not. Every moment of every day, you are shaping your reality through your consciousness. If you focus on fear, doubt, and worry, those emotions will become the fabric of your experiences. But if you focus on love, joy, and fulfillment, your life will transform in ways you cannot even imagine. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the world outside of you must change before you can feel at peace. But the reverse is true. When you shift your inner state, the world around you will naturally shift to reflect that change. The circumstances you face are simply the result of your past consciousness. If you want to change your future, you must begin by changing your present consciousness. The past is gone, the future has not yet come. The only moment that exists is now, and it is in this present moment that all creation takes place. When you dwell in the past, you recreate the same patterns of thought and experience. When you worry about the future, you bring anxiety into your present. But when you focus on the now, you have the power to shape your life in any direction you choose. In this present moment, you can choose to align with the reality of your wish fulfilled. It does not matter what has happened in the past. It does not matter what obstacles seem to stand in your way. The only thing that matters is how you feel and what you believe right now. Begin to feel the joy, the satisfaction, the peace of having your desire already realized. Feel it so deeply that it becomes a part of you. Your inner world will begin to shift, and soon the outer world will follow. It must, because the outer world is merely a reflection of the inner. One of the most common obstacles people face when manifesting their desires is the need to control the how. We often get caught up in the details, trying to figure out the exact steps that will lead to the fulfillment of our wish. But this need for control is rooted in doubt and fear. When you truly believe that your desire is already fulfilled, you do not worry about how it will come to pass. You trust that the universe will arrange the circumstances, people, and events necessary to bring your desire into reality. Let go of the need to control the process. Your only job is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Trust in the unfolding of the universe. Trust that the same power that created the stars and the oceans is working within you to manifest your desires. You do not need to know how it will happen, you only need to know that it will happen. Consider a river flowing steadily toward the ocean. The river does not question how it will reach its destination. It simply flows, trusting that the path will unfold before it. In the same way, you must trust that the path to your desire will reveal itself as you move forward in faith. One of the most important aspects of this process is persistence. It is not enough to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled for a few moments and then revert to old patterns of thought. You must persist in this assumption until it becomes second nature. The mind holds the immense power to shape our reality. Within every thought and belief lies the seed of creation, waiting to take form in the external world. The key to unlocking this potential, however, is not through struggle or sheer effort alone, but through the subtle yet profound act of assumption. Assumption, in this context, is the act of accepting as true the reality of what you desire, without needing any proof from the physical world. It is about knowing with complete certainty that what you wish for already exists, and that you are simply in the process of witnessing it materialize. This approach shifts our perspective from one of lack and longing to one of fulfillment and possession. When you assume something, you are not merely entertaining a fleeting idea or daydream. Assumption is about taking that desire and living as though it is already a part of your current reality. It is a deep, unwavering belief that moves beyond hope or wishful thinking. Think about it like this: when you assume that something is true, you no longer question it. It becomes a fact in your mind. For instance, when you wake up in the morning and see the sun rising, you don't question whether the sun is truly there. You simply assume its presence because you trust in its existence. This is the same mindset you must adopt when it comes to your desires. To assume that your desire is already fulfilled, you must stop looking for external evidence. The world around you may seem unchanged at first, but this is irrelevant. What matters is that, internally, you have shifted your perception. You have planted the seed of your wish in the soil of your consciousness, and just as with any seed, you must give it time to grow. The external world will eventually reflect your inner belief, but it begins with the assumption that what you desire is already here. This principle is not about ignoring reality or pretending that things are different than they are. It is about recognizing that the external world is a mirror, reflecting back to us the state of our inner world. When you assume the fulfillment of your desire, you are actively shifting your inner world, and in doing so, the outer world must eventually conform. It may take time for the physical manifestation to appear, but it will, because the universe cannot help but align with your belief. One of the most important components of this process is feeling. It is not enough to simply think about your desire. You must feel it deeply, as though it has already come to pass. Emotion is the fuel that powers the engine of manifestation. It is the bridge between the world of thought and the world of form. Without feeling, thoughts remain abstract and disconnected from reality. But when you feel something deeply, you bring it into focus, giving it life and substance. Consider for a moment the emotions you experience when you achieve something you've longed for. There is a sense of joy, satisfaction, and often relief. These emotions are not tied to the external event itself, but to your internal response to it. The key to manifestation is learning to feel those emotions before the external event occurs. When you do this, You create a powerful magnetic force that draws your desire toward you. Many people make the mistake of waiting for the external world to give them a reason to feel a certain way. They say, I'll be happy when I get that promotion, or I'll feel loved when I find the right partner. But this mindset places power outside of yourself, making you a passive observer of your life. The truth is that you can feel those emotions now, regardless of your external circumstances. And when you do, you align yourself with the reality you wish to create. This is why feeling is so essential in the manifestation process. It acts as a signal to the universe, telling it what to bring into your experience. When you feel as though your wish is already fulfilled, you are broadcasting a frequency of completion, and the universe responds by aligning your reality with that frequency. It is not about faking your emotions or forcing yourself to feel something you don't truly believe. It is about genuinely tapping into the emotional state that corresponds with the fulfillment of your desire. To live as though your desire is already fulfilled, you must first become intimately familiar with the feeling of having it. How would you feel if your wish were already a reality? How would you carry yourself? How would you approach each day? These are important questions to ask yourself because the answers will guide you in embodying the state of fulfillment. Living in the end means thinking, feeling, and acting as if your desire is a present reality. It requires you to step out of the mindset of longing and into the mindset of possession. Many people get stuck in a cycle of wanting, always focused on what they don't have. But this focus on lack only perpetuates more lack. When you live in the end, you bypass the feeling of wanting altogether and move directly into the feeling of having. Let's take an example to illustrate this concept. Imagine you desire a new job, one that pays better and offers more fulfillment. Instead of focusing on how much you dislike your current job or how difficult it is to find a new one, shift your focus to the feeling of already having that new job. Picture yourself walking into your ideal workplace. Feel the sense of pride and accomplishment as you take on new responsibilities. Experience the satisfaction of receiving a higher paycheck. When you live in this state of mind consistently, you begin to align your inner world with the reality of having that job. And soon, opportunities will arise that lead you toward it. The challenge for many people is maintaining this mindset, especially when the external world seems unchanged. It can be tempting to fall back into old patterns of doubt and worry. But the key to living in the end is persistence. You must continue to embody the state of fulfillment, even when there is no visible evidence that your desire is on its way. The external world is slow to change, but it will change if you remain steadfast in your belief. The law of consciousness underpins all of this. It is the foundation upon which reality is built. Your consciousness, the thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, and the emotions you feel shapes the world around you. Every experience you have, every person you meet, every situation you encounter is a reflection of your inner state of being. This is why changing your consciousness is the most powerful tool you have in creating the life you want. If you believe that the world is a hostile place full of struggle and hardship, that belief will manifest in your life. You will encounter situations that reinforce your belief, and those situations will, in turn, deepen your conviction. This is the cycle of consciousness. What you believe becomes your reality, and your reality reinforces what you believe. But the beauty of this law is that it works both ways. Just as negative beliefs can create negative experiences, positive beliefs can create positive experiences. When you shift your consciousness to align with the reality of your desire, the outer world must follow. This is not a matter of chance or luck. It is a universal law. The world around you is a mirror, reflecting back the state of your inner consciousness. If you want to change the reflection, you must first change what is being projected. This is why it is so important to be aware of your thoughts and emotions. Every thought you think, every feeling you hold contributes to the creation of your reality. Many people go through life on autopilot, unaware of the power they wield. They allow negative thoughts and emotions to dominate their consciousness, not realizing that they are shaping their reality in the process. But once you become aware of this law, you gain control over your life. You realize that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of circumstance. When you understand the law of consciousness, you no longer wait for the world to change so that you can feel fulfilled. You know that fulfillment comes from within, and that the external world will shift to match your inner state. This is a profound realization, one that can transform every aspect of your life. It frees you from the need to chase after things or force outcomes. Instead, you focus on aligning your consciousness with the reality you wish to create, knowing that the outer world will inevitably conform. The present moment is where all creation takes place. Many people spend their lives either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. But the past is gone, and the future has not yet arrived. The only moment that truly exists is now, and it is in this moment that you have the power to shape your reality. When you focus on the present, you free yourself from the limitations of the past. You are no longer bound by old patterns of thought or behavior. You can choose in this moment to align your consciousness with the reality you desire. This is the essence of living in the now. It is about recognizing that the present is where your power lies. The challenge for many people is that they are so conditioned to look to the past for validation or to the future for hope that they miss the opportunity to create in the present. They hold on to memories of past failures or anxieties about future uncertainties, and in doing so, they create more of the same. But when you focus on the present, you step into the role of creator. You become fully aware of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, and you can consciously choose to align them with the reality you wish to experience. This is not to say that you should ignore the past or disregard the future, but it is important to remember that the past is only relevant to the extent that you allow it to be. If you continue to dwell on past disappointments or mistakes, you will carry those experiences into the present. Similarly, if you are constantly focused on the future, waiting for some external event to bring you happiness or fulfillment, you will miss the opportunity to create that happiness in the now. When you shift your focus to the present moment, you open yourself up to infinite possibilities. You are no longer limited by what has happened or what might happen. You are fully engaged in the process of creation, shaping your reality with each thought, feeling, and belief. This is where your power lies in the present, where you can consciously choose to align with the fulfillment of your desires. In the manifestation process, one of the greatest obstacles people face is the need to control the how. We are often so focused on figuring out the exact steps that will lead to the fulfillment of our desires that we lose sight of the bigger picture. But this need for control is rooted in doubt and fear. When you truly believe that your desire is already fulfilled, you do not need to worry about how it will happen. You trust that the universe is arranging the circumstances necessary to bring your desire into physical form. The how is not your concern. Your only job is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled and to trust in the process. This is a difficult concept for many to grasp, especially in a world that emphasizes planning and control. But when you let go of the need to control the outcome, you allow the universe to work its magic. Consider the example of a river flowing toward the ocean. The river does not question how it will reach its destination. It does not try to control the direction or the speed of the flow. It simply follows the path that has been laid out for it, trusting that it will reach the ocean in due time. In the same way, you must trust that the path to your desire is unfolding, even if you cannot see it clearly at the moment. Letting go of the how does not mean giving up on your desire or being passive in the process. It means trusting that the universe is orchestrating the perfect conditions for your desire to manifest, and that your role is to remain aligned with the feeling of fulfillment. When you release the need to control, you free yourself from the anxiety and doubt that often accompany the manifestation process. You become more open to unexpected opportunities and synchronicities that can lead you toward your goal. Trust is a key element of manifestation. You must trust in yourself, in the process, and in the universe. Trust that your desire is already fulfilled, even if you cannot see the evidence yet. This trust allows you to remain focused on the end result, rather than getting bogged down by the details of how it will come to pass. It allows you to move through life with a sense of ease and flow, knowing that everything is working in your favor. The importance of faith in the manifestation process cannot be overstated. Faith is the unwavering belief in the unseen, the knowing that what you desire is already on its way to you, even if there is no physical evidence of it yet. Faith is not about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It is about a deep inner conviction that the universe is working behind the scenes to bring your desires to fruition. This kind of faith allows you to remain calm and centered, even when circumstances seem to suggest otherwise. When you have faith in the manifestation process, you are able to move through life with a sense of trust and ease. You no longer feel the need to force or control outcomes because you understand that the universe has a plan for how your desires will manifest. Faith allows you to let go of the need for immediate results, knowing that everything is unfolding in perfect timing. It gives you the patience to allow the process to unfold naturally, without interference from doubt or fear. One of the biggest challenges people face when manifesting their desires is the temptation to give up when results do not appear immediately. It is easy to get discouraged when you do not see any evidence of your desire in the external world. But faith is what carries you through these moments of doubt. It is the anchor that keeps you grounded in the knowing that your desire is on its way, even if you cannot yet see it. Faith allows you to hold on to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, even when the outer world seems unchanged. Faith is not passive, it is active. It requires you to take ownership of your thoughts and emotions, to actively align yourself with the reality of your desire. It means choosing to believe in the outcome you want, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. This is not always easy, especially in a world that places so much emphasis on logic and evidence. But faith operates on a different level. It does not require proof, it only requires belief. When you have faith, you are able to maintain a state of inner peace, even in the face of adversity. You trust that everything is happening for your highest good and that the universe is aligning circumstances to bring your desires to fruition. This trust allows you to stay focused on your goal, rather than getting distracted by temporary setbacks or challenges. Faith gives you the strength to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. To embody the wish fulfilled means to not only believe that your desire is already yours, but to also live as though it is a present reality. This is a critical aspect of the manifestation process because it shifts your energy from one of lack to one of abundance. When you embody the wish fulfilled, you are no longer waiting for your desire to manifest, you are living as though it already has. This subtle shift in consciousness has a profound impact on your reality. Think about how you would feel and act if your desire were already fulfilled. Would you carry yourself with more confidence? Would you approach your day with more joy and enthusiasm? When you embody the wish fulfilled, you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality of having what you desire. This alignment creates a powerful magnetic field that attracts your desire to you. Embodying the wish fulfilled requires you to step into the version of yourself that has already achieved the goal. It is not about pretending or forcing yourself into a state of mind that feels unnatural. Instead, it is about deeply connecting with the feeling of having what you want and allowing that feeling to guide your actions and decisions. When you embody the wish fulfilled, you are no longer focused on the absence of what you want. Instead, you are focused on the presence of it in your life. This practice is especially important when it comes to overcoming limiting beliefs. Many people hold deep-seated beliefs that they are not worthy of their desires or that what they want is impossible to achieve. These beliefs create a sense of separation between where they are and where they want to be. But when you embody the wish fulfilled, you dissolve that separation. You begin to see yourself as the person who already has what you desire, and this shift in identity allows your desire to manifest more easily. Living in this state of fulfillment also changes the way you interact with the world. When you believe that your desire is already fulfilled, you approach life with a sense of gratitude and appreciation. You are no longer chasing after things or feeling frustrated by their absence. Instead, you are able to enjoy the present moment, knowing that everything you want is on its way to you. This state of gratitude is a powerful force that amplifies your ability to manifest your desires. Shifting your inner consciousness is the key to changing your outer reality. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are the foundation upon which your life is built. If you want to change your external circumstances, you must first change what is happening within. This requires a deep level of self-awareness and the willingness to examine the thoughts and beliefs that are shaping your reality. Many people go through life unaware of the power that consciousness holds. They allow their thoughts to run on autopilot, reacting to external circumstances rather than consciously shaping them. But the truth is that your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner state. If you want to see different results in your life, you must first shift your consciousness to align with the reality you desire. Shifting your consciousness begins with becoming aware of the thoughts and beliefs that are currently shaping your reality. What do you believe about yourself and your ability to manifest your desires? Do you believe that you are worthy of success and happiness? Or do you hold limiting beliefs that keep you stuck in patterns of lack and struggle? These beliefs are often deeply ingrained, and it takes time and effort to change them. But once you become aware of them, you can begin the process of shifting your consciousness. One of the most effective ways to shift your consciousness is through the practice of visualization. Visualization allows you to mentally rehearse the reality you want to create. By vividly imagining yourself living in the state of your wish fulfilled, you begin to rewire your brain to align with that reality. Visualization helps you to embody the feelings and emotions associated with having what you desire, and this shifts your consciousness in a powerful way. Affirmations are another tool for shifting consciousness. By repeating positive statements that affirm the reality you want to create, you can begin to replace negative or limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Affirmations help to reprogram your subconscious mind, which plays a crucial role in shaping your reality. When you consistently feed your mind with positive, empowering thoughts, you create a new inner narrative that aligns with the life you want to live. Meditation is also a powerful tool for shifting consciousness. It allows you to quiet the mind and tap into a deeper level of awareness. Through meditation, you can connect with the infinite potential that exists within you and begin to release the thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve you. Meditation helps you to cultivate a state of inner peace and clarity, which is essential for manifesting your desires. The process of shifting consciousness is not always easy, especially if you are working to overcome deeply ingrained beliefs. But with consistent practice, you can begin to change the way you think and feel, and this will ultimately change the way you experience the world. When you shift your inner consciousness, you create a new vibrational frequency that attracts different people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. Many people operate from a place of fear and lack, always focusing on what they don't have or what they are afraid of losing. But when you shift your consciousness to one of abundance, you begin to see the world as a place of limitless possibilities. You start to notice opportunities where you once saw obstacles, and you begin to attract more of what you want into your life. Persistence is one of the most important elements of the manifestation process. It is not enough to visualize your desires or to embody the wish fulfilled for a short period of time. You must persist in the assumption that your desire is already a reality, even when the outer world seems unchanged. This requires a level of dedication and commitment that goes beyond mere wishing or hoping. The reason persistence is so important is that the physical world often takes time to catch up with your inner reality. Manifestation is not always instantaneous, and there may be periods where it seems like nothing is happening. During these times, it is easy to fall back into old patterns of doubt and fear. But persistence is what allows you to maintain your focus and keep your energy aligned with the outcome you want. Persistence is not about forcing or pushing. It is about holding on to the feeling of the wish fulfilled and trusting that the universe is working on your behalf. It is about maintaining your faith and belief, even when there is no physical evidence to support it. This kind of persistence requires inner strength and resilience, especially in the face of challenges or setbacks. And one of the biggest obstacles to persistence is the temptation to give up too soon. Many people abandon their desires when they don't see immediate results, thinking that manifestation doesn't work or that they are doing something wrong. But manifestation is a process, and it often takes time for the physical world to align with your inner vision. If you give up too soon, you cut off the flow of energy that is bringing your desire to you. Persistence also requires you to be consistent in your thoughts, feelings, and actions. It is not enough to visualize your desire once or twice and then forget about it. You must continually align yourself with the reality you want to create. This means regularly checking in with yourself to ensure that your thoughts and emotions are in harmony with your desire. It also means taking inspired action when opportunities arise, rather than sitting back and waiting for things to happen. Another aspect of persistence is the ability to stay focused on your desire, even in the face of distractions or competing priorities. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to get sidetracked by external demands and lose sight of your goals. But persistence requires you to stay committed to your vision, even when life gets busy or challenging. This doesn't mean that you should neglect other areas of your life, but it does mean that you should make your desire a priority and continue to nurture it. Persistence also involves patience. It is natural to want immediate results, but the manifestation process doesn't always work on our timeline. There may be delays or obstacles along the way, but these are often necessary parts of the process. Sometimes what appears to be a setback is actually a detour that is leading you to something even better. Persistence requires you to trust the timing of the universe and to remain patient as your desire unfolds. Finally, persistence involves the ability to remain flexible and open to new possibilities. The path to your desire may not always unfold in the way you expect. There may be unexpected twists and turns, but these are often opportunities in disguise. Persistence requires you to stay open to new ideas and solutions, even if they don't fit with your original plan. By remaining flexible, you allow the universe to bring your desire to you in the best possible way. Ultimately, persistence is about staying committed to your vision, no matter what. It is about continuing to align yourself with the reality you want to create, even in the face of doubt or adversity. When you persist in the assumption of the wish fulfilled, you create a powerful momentum that cannot be stopped. The universe must respond to your unwavering belief, and eventually, your desire will manifest in your life. The journey of manifesting desires is a deeply personal one, but it operates on universal principles that apply to every person, no matter their background, circumstances, or beliefs. As you continue to immerse yourself in this process, you will begin to understand that the most profound transformations occur not in the physical world around you, but within the depths of your own consciousness. The outer world, as beautiful or challenging as it may seem, is merely a reflection of what you hold true inside. The power to shape your destiny lies in the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the beliefs you feel, and the beliefs you nurture. Many people live their lives as if they are at the mercy of circumstances. They feel as though life is happening to them rather than through them. But once you realize that you are not a passive participant in the game of life, everything changes. The idea that life is responding to you, not the other way around, is a fundamental shift in understanding that can empower you beyond measure. This realization is the key to unlocking your potential as a conscious creator. To manifest your desires, you must become intimately acquainted with the inner workings of your mind. The mind, for most people, operates in habitual patterns. These patterns were often established in childhood, shaped by family, society, and life experiences. While many of these patterns are useful, such as learning how to tie your shoes or drive a car, others can limit your potential. Limiting beliefs, often ingrained so deeply that you're unaware of them, can sabotage your efforts at creating the life you want. Limiting beliefs are like invisible barriers that keep you from realizing your true potential. They manifest as thoughts such as "I'm not good enough," "I don't deserve success," or "things never work out for me." These beliefs may have been passed down from parents, teachers, or peers, but over time you accepted them as truth. The problem is, once a belief is accepted as true, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe you are not worthy of success, you will unconsciously act in ways that prevent success from coming into your life. If you believe that life is hard and full of struggle, you will attract situations that reinforce that belief. The good news is that beliefs can be changed. Just as they were learned, they can be unlearned and replaced with new, empowering beliefs that support your goals and desires. This process requires introspection and the willingness to challenge the thoughts that arise in your mind. Every time you notice a limiting belief, ask yourself, is this really true? Do I have evidence to support this belief? Or have I simply accepted it without question by question your beliefs? You begin to weaken their hold on you. Eventually, you can replace them with beliefs that are more aligned with the reality you want to create. One of the most effective ways to replace limiting beliefs is through the power of repetition. Your mind is like a garden, and your beliefs are the seeds you plant. If you consistently water the seeds of limiting beliefs, they will grow into weeds that choke the garden of your consciousness. But if you plant seeds of empowering beliefs and water them consistently with positive thoughts and emotions, they will grow into beautiful flowers that enhance every aspect of your life. Affirmations are one of the most powerful tools you can use to reprogram your mind and replace limiting beliefs. An affirmation is a positive statement that affirms the reality you want to create. When you repeat an affirmation regularly, it begins to take root in your subconscious mind. Over time, the affirmation becomes a belief, and that belief shapes your reality. For example, if you want to manifest financial abundance, you might use affirmations such as, I am abundant in all areas of my life, or money flows to me easily and effortlessly at first. These statements might feel uncomfortable or untrue. This is because your current beliefs about money may be rooted in lack and struggle. But the more you repeat the affirmations, the more your subconscious mind will begin to accept them as true. Eventually, your thoughts and actions will align with your new beliefs, and you will begin to attract opportunities for financial abundance. The key to using affirmations effectively is to not only repeat them, but to feel them. It's not enough to say the words mechanically, you must infuse them with emotion. When you say, I am abundant, allow yourself to feel the joy, freedom, and security that come with abundance. Visualize what your life would look like if you were already living in that state of abundance. The combination of positive emotion and repetition is what makes affirmation so powerful. Visualization is another tool that can help you shift your consciousness and manifest your desires. The mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. This is why you can watch a movie and feel emotions as if you were actually experiencing the events on screen. When you visualize your desires as though they have already manifested, you send a powerful signal to your subconscious mind. This signal begins to reshape your beliefs, thoughts, and emotions to align with the reality you want to create. When you meditate, you create a space for new ideas, insights, and inspirations to flow into your consciousness. These ideas often come from a place beyond the logical mind, and they can guide you toward the fulfillment of your desires in ways that you would never have considered. Meditation also helps you to release resistance and attachment to specific outcomes, which is crucial for allowing the manifestation process to unfold naturally. As you meditate, focus on your breath and allow your thoughts to come and go without attachment. If you find your mind wandering, gently bring your attention back to your breath. With practice, you will begin to experience moments of deep stillness and inner peace. It is in these moments that you can connect with the infinite intelligence of the universe and receive guidance on how to move forward in your manifestation process. In addition to the mental and emotional work involved in manifestation, there is also an element of action. Many people misunderstand the concept of manifestation and think that it is purely a mental or spiritual process. While it is true that your thoughts and emotions are the foundation of your reality, action is what brings your desires into physical form. However, the action required in manifestation is not about forcing or struggling. It is about taking inspired action that feels aligned with your desire and flows naturally from your state of being. Inspired action is different from effortful action because it is fueled by joy, excitement, and intuition rather than fear or obligation. When you are aligned with the reality of your wish fulfilled, opportunities for inspired action will naturally present themselves. You might have a sudden idea, meet someone who can help you, or come across a resource that supports your goal. The key is to remain open and receptive to these opportunities and to act on them when they arise. Inspired action often feels effortless because it is in alignment with the flow of the universe. One of the reasons people struggle with manifestation is because they try to force things to happen before the timing is right. They feel the need to control every aspect of the process, which creates resistance and blocks the natural flow of energy. But when you take inspired action, you are allowing the universe to work through you. You are co-creating with the infinite intelligence that knows the best and most efficient way to bring your desires into reality. As you move forward in your manifestation journey, it is important to cultivate a mindset of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotional states you can embody because it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. When you are grateful for the blessings in your life, you send a signal to the universe that you are open to receiving more. Gratitude amplifies the energy of abundance and attracts more of what you want into your experience. To cultivate gratitude, take time each day to reflect on the things you are thankful for. These can be big things like a loving relationship or a successful career, or small things like a beautiful sunset or a kind word from a friend. The more you practice gratitude, the more you will begin to notice the many blessings that surround you. This shift in focus will raise your vibration and align you with the energy of your desires. To overcome feelings of unworthiness, it is essential to cultivate a deep sense of self-love and acceptance. This means honoring yourself as you are, without judgment or criticism. It means recognizing that you are deserving of all the good things life has to offer, simply because you exist. You do not need to earn your worthiness, it is inherent in who you are. As you cultivate self-love, you will naturally raise your vibration and attract more of what you want into your life. You will no longer feel the need to prove yourself or seek validation from others. Instead, you will approach life from a place of confidence and inner peace, knowing that you are worthy of all the love, success, and abundance you desire. Self-love also involves taking care of yourself on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level. This means nourishing your body with healthy food, getting enough rest, and engaging in activities that bring you joy. It also means setting boundaries and saying no to things that drain your energy or do not align with your values. When you prioritize your well-being, you send a powerful message to the universe that you value yourself and are open to receiving more of what you want. The process of manifesting your desires is not always linear. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty along the way. But these moments are part of the journey, and they offer valuable opportunities for growth and learning. When challenges arise, it is important to approach them with curiosity rather than resistance. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can this experience help me grow and align more fully with my desires? As you continue on this journey, remember that manifestation is not just about getting what you want. It is about becoming the person you were always meant to be. It is about stepping into your power as a conscious creator and recognizing that you have the ability to shape your reality in ways you never thought possible. It is about cultivating a deeper connection with yourself, with the universe, and with the infinite potential that exists within you. In conclusion, the power to manifest your desires lies within you, shaped by the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the beliefs you hold. Manifestation is not a distant possibility, but a present reality that you can tap into by shifting your consciousness and aligning with the truth that what you seek is already yours. By cultivating unwavering faith, embodying the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and persistently holding that inner vision, you can shape your external world to reflect your deepest desires. As you practice living in the end, trusting the process, and taking inspired action, you will discover that the path to manifestation is as much about the inner transformation as it is about the outer results. With persistence, gratitude, and self-love, you become a co-creator with the universe, opening yourself to endless possibilities and the fulfillment of your dreams. Embrace the journey with patience and faith, knowing that everything you desire is not just possible, but inevitable when you align your mind, heart, and spirit with the flow of creation.